All right, lovely people. I think this is now gonna work. Almost. Okay, I'm about ready to roll out that image. There we go. Oh my god, I am so sorry. It's been such a mess. All right, we are live. We have water. Water is important. It's been such a mess. I'll tell you all about it. Right. Oh, you know what I need? A little tissue. Allergies. I don't have coronavirus. Oops, I said it. I'll be demonetized. And I have the human malware. This is how we'll call it here. I'm just, oh, it's a mess. Anyway, let's see. We are going to have, and I'm working on my computer, which is quite, oh, we have a crying kitten. Are you alright? Okay. I'm sorry about the noise. Yes. We'll have to pick up the kitten. Say hi to the stream. You know, she likes to be famous. Yes. Yes. MP's watching. I think, possibly. Might be the only one. Right? Look. Oh yes, you're so cute. I mean, it's stay the fuck home, people. Be nice to your pets. It helps you not get depressed, right? Are you okay? Are you good now? She's purring. Really? Can you hear it? Nah. Alright, are you good? Can I put you down now? I'm gonna put her in my lap. We're gonna try this. Okay. Alright. You get settled. I'm gonna have to write above her. Standing. No sitting back here. Okay, so. What was I doing? Oh, yes. I was trying to retweet things, and then we're gonna get started. So the good news is, I got a thread. The funny part is I need to explain that to you because you guys have no idea. Okay. Oh, they're watching Star Wars on Queer Game. Just when I wanted to. All right, so we are going to there we go. Right, we're gonna like this and retweet that. There we go. And then we'll go change a little bit. Okay, so can you guys see? Let's go to writing live. Can you guys see? Let me see. Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna make everything bold. Right, that way it should help you. Right, there we go. We're going to pause the music for now. There we go. Let's start this the right way. Hi, everybody. I am C, and this is Coming School Day 2. Create with me. And the idea is that we are doing the lessons from amazing, legendary goddess, comics creator, writer, Gail Simone. And Gail Simone just last week for the quarantine had the amazing idea of creating a free 5-day course called Comic School on Twitter. And they also have a Discord and everything. Everything's in the description down below if you want to. And so what they've done is created this course, and we have different homework and assignments, and there's even a degree at the end. So today we're doing day 2. We did day 1 last week. It's in the playlist, the same playlist for this one. And I'll put the playlist in the description next time, or when we're done with this. Anyway, today we are doing day 2, and I have made the document where I take my notes and where I do all my assignment, my homework, everything. I've made that available in the folder in the description. It's a Google Doc drive. In my drive, I made a folder public so that you guys can access my work in progress and also my comic school notes. So last week we ended up creating 3 springboards. Now I'll remind you, a springboard is only a few sentences that contains character, conflict, and what makes a story worth printing. It can also be compared to an elevator pitch, is what people could know in TV or in script writing, in movie writing. Usually people just, it's this very, very fast, short pitch that you send to a comics editor, and what happens is that if they like it, they'll ask you to write it. So usually they give you like a theme or some idea they have, and on the fly you're supposed to do very quickly 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 springboards, and each springboard is a different idea. It's a different story. So here last week I created I brainstormed and I created the first story that I was going to use for comic school. And what I did for my springboard number 2 is that I just flipped I flipped the POV, and I thought that would work, but actually it doesn't. So it had to necessarily be 2 complete different stories. So what happened is I added a second story. And so if you look at the notes, and you can see that's story 2. So I created a third springboard, and I submitted that to Twitter. And so here's what the third springboard tweet ended up being. So I'll read the first one so that you guys remember. So the first springboard for story 1 was: conflicted with her role in the immortal war, dark elven witch Aramith chooses redemption and love in trusting Cameron, her ambiguous Virago guard, as they rebel on their perilous journey to find the dragon guardian of the key to end the war and free their world, Ilvanor. So we had decided that Aramis is a dark elf. She's relatively not a good. It's not that she's not a good person. It's that she's not your typical hero. She's more on the villain side of things, but she's a morally ambiguous person, is what I like that. And Cameron, they are non-binary lesbian. So I kind of made sure that my stories are definitely LGBTQIA and definitely inclusive and diverse, because for me that's really important. And so the second story ends up being this. As all shadow elves, Aramis lives under the veil, in secret from humans, until that day one of them stares at her right in the eye through the magical shield. Under penalty of death, it is forbidden to meddle with humans, but against all odds, Aramis acknowledges the woman. So that's my other story, and I forgot to say that the theme that we picked, that we actually rolled the dice for that, the themed were both fantasy and romance. So I stayed in that, and I'll start telling you what day 2 is. That way I can tell you what story we're going to work on. So buckle up, people. Here we go. So Gail Simone says, first, this kind of blew up. It made a bunch of news site. It's already been translated all over the world, and we got 200,000 impressions on our first tweet opening day 1 yesterday, because that's kind of nuts. That is because you students taking a chance and sharing your enthusiasm. Thank you. You're very welcome. I'm late to the party, but I don't know that anyone else streamed it, so maybe that makes it up. Now, today we have a couple exercises and 1 piece of homework. Okay, cool. They should not be too painful. I appreciate that, because last time was a lot and long. But a couple notes here before we begin talking about outlines and first pages. Cool. First, I took an hour or so and looked at a lot of springboards that people had posted from their homework assignments. The idea was to choose or roll a genre, which is what we did. We rolled 2 genres, and write 2 separate springboards for a 5-8-page story in that genre. Which is not what I did, but now I did. I fixed it. Many already posted theirs, but if you haven't, please look down my timeline a little bit, find the tweet with the hashtag springboards, and post both of your springboards there, okay? We did that. Remember, you don't have to share them, but if you do, I may potentially talk about them, which was cool. Don't worry, it's not scary. So far, Gail has followed me back. She's retweeted about me streaming, but she hasn't, I don't think she's seen my boards yet. Also, don't eat the hamburger surprise in the cafeteria today, because I'm pretty sure Neil himself got new stardust on it, or maybe dandruff. Oh, okay. Here's the thing, folks. The springboard is usually the first step to an editor's approval. Sometimes it's done over the phone. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. It is a brief idea for a story. A gigantic planet-eating being sends a herald to scout Earth to see if it's appropriate for his next meal. The herald develops feelings for Ben Grimm's girlfriend. That's a springboard. Well, it is short. I'll give her that. A student asked an excellent question about this yesterday. They asked if this was an elevator pitch, which it is. A phrase commonly used in film, meaning a story idea that could be conveyed in the space of an elevator ride. And it is exactly like that, yes. But my advice with springboards is avoid cliché at all cost. Don't say imagine a world where, or it's a cross between Die Hard and whatever. which we didn't do that. So far we did good. Remember, at every stage, you are trying to tell your story, told your way. Don't give your editor reason to yawn, okay? Right. Okay, so thrilling. I'm going to tell you a bit of an industry secret. That's not that secret if you really think about it. Readers believe the reader is their customer. And it's true, they are. But they aren't the first customer. And that makes sense. It's the same in any kind of sort of publishing or producing. The first customer is probably the editor. Then you again have to sell to the publisher. Yeah. Then you again have to sell to the retailer. Finally, your customer is the reader. So that's like 3 steps before customers ever get to see a comic. If any stage doesn't fly, then the reader never even gets the book and the whole thing collapses. Yeah, exactly. So this is something every potential comics writer has to keep in mind, at least when going through traditional comic shop distribution, and handling or crowdfunding skip these. The good news. All right, so crowdfunding is interesting here because obviously you don't get distributed. You get funded through selling future copies of your comic book. But you know, it's not always the way it goes. The good news. I read a ton of the springboards people put up yesterday, and I was surprised and delighted how many of you got the concept so quickly. Well, I didn't, or not completely, but I figured it out. I'm really, really proud. I'm glad she's proud, and she's been very supportive. She's really nice. So you may need to rethink your understanding of the ID to product development process. A lot of each project's development time goes into trying to catch the retailer's attention. They have 1,000 books a month to choose from. Oh, right. So comic shops or Comixology or places like that, which that makes sense because they have tons and tons and tons of books. Keep their needs in mind at all times. Right. So retailer are the hardest people to sell to. So obviously, they're the hardest customer to satisfy. And so we always need to write thinking about them. Okay, that makes sense to me. Here's your first exercise for today. And if it's for the springboards, and it's for the springboards. Okay, we have 3. You will need one person's help. So I cheated a little bit because I kind of looked at the beginning of this and I had, I knew that there was a quest in this that I couldn't do live with you guys. And I needed that to be done ahead of time. So I did. So here's your first exercise for today, and it's for the springboards. You will need one person's help. It can be a student on this thread or any friends. You don't have to do this bit right now, but sometime today. So I did. Show your work. Let someone read your springboards. That person is going to be acting as Fred. And we have a friend, Fred. Your imaginary editor for this entire project in this one instance. Have that person read both springboards and pick the one they most like. And students, that becomes the story you will write. So I showed our Fred the 3 springboards. And Fred chose number 3. It is not your choice. It's Fred's. Everyone get that? If you have no one, you can ask by email or phone. Go ahead and ask for help in the springboards hashtag, and then take the suggestion of the first person who responds. So I found one. The point here is someone else chooses which story you write. Got it? I got it. Because here's the thing, when writing for a publisher, especially starting out, we do not get to always have final say on every aspect of the ID process. Well, I kind of liked ID1 first because we did it on YouTube and it was kind of, it was kind of a lot more fun. And I thought, that story would be the one that we would work on together. And then earlier today, I kind of furiously created this second one. And Fred chose Springboard 3. Now again, I was impressed by the springboards I saw. I cannot wait to see what you do with the next stage. Well, kind of curious what the next stage is now. And here's also the Comic School Discord server, which is a lot of people. Okay, we found our friends here. I want to post just a couple of the springboards. This is from Sean. Okay. A young squire becomes imbued with amazing powers that could change the course of the war that is raging between the humans and the Fae. But which side will the squire fight for? Now. Oh, that's pretty cool. Right? They got fantasy, obviously. From JMHL. Horror crime. Ooh, I hate horror. I told you guys I wasn't going to do horror. Ever. 9-year-old Charlie Dixon fell asleep at home in his bed, but woke up somewhere else, now hunted and stalked by a demon. Hell-bent on keeping him in this familiar but different place, Charlie must learn to face his fears and if he is to survive and escape. Wow. See, these are exactly what a springboard is supposed to be. We know the genre, a bit about the protagonist, a bit of what the protagonist is going to face and how things get complex. So I think we did okay. It works for our third springboard. That is what a springboard is for, and it sells your ID to your first customer, Fred the editor. Well, Fred the editor liked one of ours, so we did good. Great job, guys. Thank you. I have to move on again, but again, the vast majority of the springboards I've read so far from you all would not at all seem out of place on a real comic editor's desk. That's kind of nice to know, isn't it? Congratulations, that is a huge first step. So be sure to check out the springboards thread. I should do that. And also the Discord server if you can. Try to give positive feedback. This is an exercise in learning, not a final stage critique from anyone, okay? I appreciate that, yeah. But check them out. There's a library of story potential there. I bet some editors are already doing just that. Okay, before we move on to outlines, please grab your pen and notepad. We have here our notes. Okay, so ready for the notes. We are going to use 2 pages and they stay in the book. They don't go in the roadblock box. Cool. Right at the top of the page, Universal Toolbox. Okay, let me make this a little bigger. Right, so we're gonna write bold and in 12, sure. Universal Toolbox. Then personal assets on another page. Okay, so I'll put that later. Right. Let's put this above this and we'll see. So Universal Toolbox, we're gonna put a page break. Right, and now we're gonna write personal assets. Okay, right. There are a total of 6 tools that will go in the Universal Toolbox. Every writer has to have a little bit of each. Okay, Let's see if we do that. We talked a little bit about the first two. Anyone remembers them from yesterday's lesson? There was focus. No, these are not hippy-dippy ideals. These are things you need. Okay, focus and passion. Oh, cool. Focus is what keeps scope creep away. Keeps scope creep away. It makes you a person who finishes things, and it keeps your story lean and mean. Okay, so I'm guessing. Okay, passion is your drive, your will as a writer. So under universal toolbox, right. Okay, we're gonna go from 1, focus, and we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 2, passion. Okay. Today we are talking a little bit about number 3, craft. Craft. Okay. Craft. The universal toolbox is the stuff that every writer has to have. You can be strong in one category and weak in others. Okay, yeah, that would make sense. Every editor, even Fred, learns your strengths and weaknesses. But you have to have some of all, okay? Well, let's hope. Now, here is exercise 2 for today. And again, do this after class. Okay. Personal assets is a list of what weapons you personally have that could be helpful to you as a writer. It can be anything. Large vocabulary, multilingual, unusual background or skill, education. Oh, wow. This is going to be so hard for me. You know, super no self-confidence anxiety here. That's going to be hard for me. So after class, take 10 minutes, list everything you feel you could be an asset that you have that others might not. Oh, okay. So assignment, I'm going to write it here. Okay. We are going to do normal text, bold. We're going to make that 12 as well so that you guys can see it. So that's the first assignment right here. Okay. This list is for you. You don't have to share it, but I'm willing to bet you have more in the plus column than you think. Now we talk about outlines. Okay, so we're not going to make 2 pages because that's too complicated. No. Right. Just gonna give, she said, how many thing in the universal toolbox? She said 6, right? So 4, 5, 6. Right. And we'll add our personal assets right there. Okay. So this list is for you. Okay. You don't have to share it, but I'm willing to bet you have more in the plus column. Okay. Now outlines. This is an essential step. Ooh. Industry secret of the day number 2. Okay. You actually rewrite your story or some version of it potentially several times. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Springboard, outline, first draft, revisions. Yeah, that seems common to the writing of fiction and, you know, novels and short stories and such, but it's very common. That's optimal. It can be more. A special treat, I have some extra superstar faculty who have given me some advice to impart to you. Oh, cool. But here's the thing, the outline is where you start to shape your story. I need to close the door. Or I'm gonna wake up people in my house. Okay. The outline is where you start to shape your story. This is where you use your toolbox. You're not selling so much, you're assembling the story. Okay, now, here's where we get into craft. Unlike screenwriting, comics does not have an actual agreed upon format. Okay, each writer writes their outline and scripts differently. I'm going to take a little bit of notes here, and I think I'm going to say, so I want to remember comics doesn't have an agreed upon format. Okay. Why is this in weird text? Okay. Okay. I want to remember that. It sounds interesting, important. But for today, I'm going to give you a potential method and an actual example. So Fred approves your springboard and tells you which story to do. So for us, it's number 3. In comics, you would then go to an outline. Okay. The outline is the halfway point between the springboard and the first draft. So we're going to write that down as well. The outline is the halfway point between. I want to remember that because it sounds important. Okay, so the halfway point, what did I say? Between the springboard and the first draft. Right. That's plotting, I think, which I really like. Okay. You tell the story, including major beats and characters. In the outline, you tell the story, including major beats and characters. Okay. Here's where craft from the toolbox comes in. You will get better at this every time you do it. That is genuinely true of any kind of writing or any kind of anything, making videos, any kind of creating, to be honest. The more you do it, the better you get at it, the more comfortable you get with it. Generally, for other people, generally, I'd say, the more confident you get about it as well. And as a reminder, not all stories work the same way. Well, that's very true. But most stories have similar elements regardless of length. They can be named different things. Okay, so in the outline, we find, okay, so I'm gonna do bullets for everybody here. Okay. All right. Introduction. Conflict. So introduction, and I'm gonna write establishes scene and characters. Okay, so I see how she works, and the good thing is I think she works like I work, which is really gonna be helpful. But she works into scenes, and I write novels in scenes. Not at all everyone does it, but I visualize scenes very much. So puts our character in a situation of increasing stress. Right. That's when it starts. So then we have climax. Climax. A resolution. Not the dirty thing. I did think about the dirty thing. Did you think about the dirty thing? I so did. Okay, climax. And possibly denouement. Denouement. And that's, I'm going to translate that in English because in French, that's a French word, by the way. Or, you know, I guess it's an epilogue, post climax moment, character moment. Now, for a treat, I have some big name faculty with some helpful advice. Oh, cool. Okay. First, one of the hottest writers going, Tom Taylor Mate, I don't know him, has this advice about the importance of outlines. The outline is the place to write without fear. No one will see your generation of thought, okay? The average ideas that become something greater. It's a place to take big risks and forge diamonds. Yes, I can see that. You can't forge diamonds, but yeah. I should have deleted that in the outline. Tom's right. If you take a huge chance in the actual scripting, Fred may tell you, you can't have Batman eating babies. Yeah, okay. And you have to start over. The outline is the place to try for an outrageous idea. Oh, that makes sense. Right, okay, so now the outline, that's important, is the place to try all the outrageous ideas. Well, I'm saying all with a grain of salt, I think. Okay. Thanks, Tom. Everyone follow Professor Tom Taylor. I will, here on Twitter. He's awesome. We are coming to near the end. Don't worry, and there's a fun homework bit left. Okay, but just a couple more words on the outline portion. Everyone does it differently. Cool. Keep it brief. Cover all the main characters' beats. Include a climax or resolution. Always include a climax or resolution. Okay. What else? I have one last craft detail to impart. One of the greatest fiction weapons in the reveal is the reveal. The reveal. This is someone that the reader and or protagonist doesn't know. It's a secret. It's a locked box that someone opens in the story. Look, I am your father is a reveal. Okay. Okay. I can see that. I can absolutely see that. All right. Used properly, a reveal can land like an H-bomb. Yes. Is it the element of surprise? It is the element of surprise woven into your story. Okay. Are you done? I'm trying to stream, honey. Yes, you're cute, but you're annoying. I need to get her a kitty bed where she can just lie next to me. I can pet her all the time. Right. The reveal is your secret fiction weapon. And we're gonna add example. Luke, I am your father. That was seriously a big reveal. I remember the first time I saw the movie in my life, and I got the initial surprise of that, and it was definitely boom. It's a surprise. I like that. Almost every great work of fiction has them. Many revolve completely around them, and using one shows you are growing in craft. So consider, is there a secret in your story? All right, so just a couple more tweets and class is over. Do we put the secret in the outline? I suppose we should. What does an outline look like? For Jody Hauser, she breaks down the story page by page and tells what happens in each. Okay. That's what I would do for my stories, for my fiction, you know, fan fiction and fiction. It would definitely be what I do. Or it can be an expansion and fleshing out of the techniques used in your springboard. The way I learned to do it was taught to me by Mark Wade. Okay. He goes by journalism rules of who, what, they, why. Yeah, who, what, why, when, and where. Yes. Who did what? Why did they do it? When did they do it? And where? But that works really well for me. But I asked the hardest working, most overprepared writer in the business for an example, and he kindly opened a page from his normally locked Patreon for an example of an outline just for you, comic school student. This was extremely nice of him. So this outline example, which is a perfect sample of how it can be done, is by master writer and organizing wizard Jim Zub. Okay, please take a look. This is incredibly valuable information. Okay, let's see if we can still look at that. Oh my god, it's a page of Red Sonja. In this with you. Okay, thank you. Wow. Wow. All right. So writing a couple Pathfinder arcs for Dynamite, I was asked to write a 30-page Red Sonja one-shot based in Kitai, the Eastern-themed part of Hyboria, the fictional fantasy world of Conan and Red Sonja. Dude, I remember, I have not read Red Sonja, but I know it's amazing. And I've seen Conan the Barbarian. I think you've all seen it. I happily jumped on board, and it was eventually published as Red Sonja and Cub. Okay. Attached here is my revised approved story outline design notes for the artist, my rough page pacing breakdown, and the final script. I'm quite proud of how the story turned out and hope you enjoy it too. Here's the comic and comicsology if you want to follow along with the published version. Okay, I'll open that next. Right. Writing this one-shot would help cement my reputation as a fantasy writer. It eventually led to co-writing the Conan Red Sonja miniseries for Dark Horse Comics. And I love Dark Horse Comics. They're really cool. They're a good publisher. March 16, 2020. Tons of people have come by this post after I unlocked it as part of Gail Simone's comics class. Comic school friend. Post on Twitter. Thanks for stopping by. I have over 230 comics, scripts, and pitches here on my Patreon archives, all available for the price of a coffee. That's nice. If you're looking for free comic creation resources, check the tutorials. Column on the right-hand side of my website. 40 plus articles on writing, pitching, and the economics of comics, no charge. Okay, so we're definitely looking at that. Also have 2 frequently asked questions rounds up that cover over 100 common questions I get asked about making comics, pitching stories, and working for Level. Tutorial fact roundup. And okay. If all that stuff doesn't cover something you need to know about making comics, drop me a line on Twitter or here via Patreon. If it's a good question, I might even make a post about it so other people can benefit from the answer too. Jim. Thanks, Jim. Okay, so we're going to open this. Yes, we'll save it here. Okay. There we go. We'll do the same thing here. There we go. Okay. So this is the outline. Okay, so it's a one-pager. Would you like me guys to read that? No one's in chat. Oh, whoever you are, absolutely lovely one person watching now. Tell me if you want me to read the outline for Red Sonja. I think we should. I'll take a second. I'll take a drink too. Close the door again. For the silly kitten. Okay. Right. So, Red Sonja Honor Bond, outlined by Jim Zub. Okay, pay attention, people, because I think we're all gonna get a really nice, amazing lesson in outlines. A noble woman, her bodyguard, and her 12-year-old daughter are fleeing under the cover of night. They are pursued by assassins sent to kill her and the young girl. When their chase collides with Sonja's campsite, the she-devil slays the attackers, but not before they manage to kill the woman and the bodyguard. The young girl is physically unharmed, but the death of her mother is quite traumatizing. The young girl, named Kazuko, I'm gonna kill that cat. The young girl, named Kazuko, Child of Peace, explained to Sonja that her mother had arranged for her to be married to a young noble in order to broker peace between 2 rival families, the Natsu and the Fuyu clans. They were ambushed along the way by rogue members of the Fuyu, who are trying to stop the marriage from taking place. Once Kazuko is married, the 2 families will be bound together, and honor would dictate that the end of their age-old rivalry. Sonia doesn't want to involve herself in foreign politics, but also won't let an innocent child die. She asks the girl if she wants to be escorted home or continue to the Fuyu clan manor as was originally planned. Kazuko asks Sonia to continue the mission so her mother's death will not be in vain. Sonia and Kazuko travel together, trying to elude the Fuyu clan assailants sent to finish them off. Along the way, Sonia teaches the young girl combat techniques and tries to show her that she does not have to follow any path, the one she chooses for herself. Sonia is appalled at the tradition of political betrothal and using children as pawns, but is impressed by Kazuko's loyalty to her family and strongly developed sense of duty at such a young age. Yeah, I'm impressed too. After several difficult battles along their journey, Kazuko and Sonia finally arrive at the Fuyu Manor house. The Fuyu family are grateful but also a bit standoffish with Sonia, as they do not like her foreign appearance or attitude. They offer her a reward and strongly hint that she should now leave, but she insists on staying until the waiting is complete. During the ceremony, Kazuko's grandfather arrives outside the Fuyu Manor, leading a small army. When word of Kazuko's mother's death arrived, he assembled an army to charge forth and avenge her. The two families are prepared to battle on the spot, and Sonia tries to keep the peace by physically putting herself between the two warring sides. Before anyone can stop her, Kazuko carries out the final part of the wedding ceremony and is wed to her new husband, forcing both sides into peace. Honor-bound tradition and duty trump vengeance, and the families are forced to back down thanks to the young girl's bravery. The next day, Sonia asks Kazuko if she wants to escape the strict life of nobility that lies ahead for her. The young girl deeply bows to her protector in gratitude but refuses the offer. She shows Sonia a knife she will secretly wear beneath her traditional garb just in case. Kazuko is following tradition but has learned a valuable lesson about independence and survival from the she-devil. She controls her own destiny, whatever her family may think. That's a really nice outline. It gives you a strong idea of what the story is going to be about. You can even see it ahead of time a little bit. And I'm trying to find in there what the surprise is. If you guys have an idea of what the surprise is, let me know here in the comments. I'm curious what you think the surprise is. I want to see what Gail says again, and then I think I'll let you know in comments what the surprise is for me here, what the reveal is. What we'll do is that we'll finish what Gail is saying, and we might come back here and we'll try to identify what's the introduction, the conflict, the climax, the denouement, and then the reveal. Let's do that. Okay. So we were very lucky to get Jimson on staff. He usually is writing 1,100 books. Wow, that's a lot of books. He also has one of the best comics Patreons out there. All right, I'm proud of you all for sticking with it through the outline stage. You have your 2 exercises for the day, right? 1, get a thread to choose a springboard, and 2, list the writer assets you feel you have. So 1 is done for us, and 2 needs to be done. Now your homework, and it's going to be fun. You probably think I'm going to ask you to write an outline. Well, I kind of thought, yeah. I mean, you're not. Oh, she's not. Okay. I mean, maybe next time. You most certainly can if you want. It's very good practice. I think I'll try one, but off camera. But I have a different homework assignment for you today. I want you to take the springboard that Fred chooses for you, or chose for you, sorry, and write the first page. Just the first page. So there's a first page, 5 to 8 page total, right? But I want you to do something small first. Grab a few comics you enjoyed. Look at their first page, only the first page. Then and only then you write your first page to the story Fred chose. Got it? I got it. I want you to write it before we learn formatting and other tricks. Just write it cold. So, write the first page. Of the story Fred chose for me. Chose for you. Okay. I think I have a good idea what that's going to be. So look at the first page of comics you like. I'll do that, but I think I know now. You write your first page to the story Fred chose. Got it? I want you to write it before we learn formatting and other tricks. Just write it cold. We'll make mistakes. That is okay. There's an important lesson here. You can write it in any format you like. You can draw it. You can do thumbnails. If you have layout IDs, try to include them. Oh, I need a layout ID. I think I just need one big. Right. Or a few. Like one on each corner and one in the center. We'll see. Or you can simply do a format like this. Page 1. This page is your 4-panel grid. Page 1. Oh, 4 panels. Okay. Panel 1, a lonely warehouse in the snow. The roads are blocked. A man is in a black overcoat, breath trailing vapor in the cold air. Leaves footsteps as he walks to the abandoned building. That format, a simplified screenplay format, is the way I do it, actually. Okay, screenplay. I've never written a screenplay, but I do write notes for each scene that I see. And I usually have a very visual, like movie scene in my head. So this is going to be helpful for me. I hope it will be helpful for you. That format, a simplified screenplay format, is the way she does it. Okay. Do not worry. You cannot mess this assignment up. We just want to see what you come up with. Got it? That's it. 2 exercises in a single scripted page. Okay. Feel free to post your work on this thread as a reply if you like. So 1, right. We're going to turn this into numbers, actually. Right. So okay. Why did I do that? 1, find a Fred. Find a Fred. To choose your story. Okay. 2, list your personal writer assets. Okay. Okay, write the first page. Okay, write your first page. Do not self-critique. Okay. And seriously, have fun. Don't hit yourself in the head. Enjoy what you are doing. It's a good habit to create. That's it. See you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Class dismissed. All right. So we've been on for about an hour, which this is Sonia. Right. I think I'll do that on my own for sure. So list everything you feel could be an asset that you have that others might not. This is hard. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I might do a couple of those personal assets. So let's see. Here. And then right. And so now we have our notes. Right. Here. Okay. So personal asset in writing. I'm disciplined. I really am. I feel like that matters. Right, hold on. This all needs to be a little bigger so you guys can see it. I'm disciplined. I always write in scenes and I write in scenes. I visualize every scene in my mind. What is so hard for you guys to, do this in 12? Thank you. Okay. So, what else? I have an annoying kitten. I am an editor. I think that's I am a sensitivity content line and copyright editor. And that is very, very helpful. What else? I can focus for hours. I can focus strongly. What else can I do? It's probably not going to be everything because I plot a lot. I'm very good at world building. I always do my research. I'm good at not oversharing my world building. Trust me, that's restraint is, yeah. I can restrain. I have restraint. Trust me, you want to have restraint. And it's something, and it's a skill, it's something you learn and you can get better at, but it's definitely rare to have that up front. It comes with a lot of practice and a lot of discipline. I don't just plot a lot, I plot everything. So I make a lot of outline. I know how to pack a punch. I'm good at transitions. I can be abrupt though. I'm very good at ending. Right. Ending scenes. Okay, for now that's way enough, but you see the kind of stuff. Obviously for me, this is writing oriented because that's what they're asking. If you've never written before, this is going to take you a little bit of practice, but you can use to help you do this, what you can do is compare what you were good at school. So if you went to high school, for example, or college, but mostly I think even high school is fine. If you had to write, or college, if you had to write papers, if you had to, if you never did your homework, if you freaked out when you had deadlines, all those things are qualities that you can definitely write here. Were you good at doing drafts? Were you good at, if it was a test, did you always finish early? Did you finish late? Did you never finish all the questions? All of those things will help you find qualities here. And in life, in everyday life, you know the things that you always mess up. Like if you always let your room get dirty and you don't pick up your clothes, you're probably not organized. If you always, for example, if you never part colors from whites when you do your laundry, you're probably not attention to details. If you are the kind of person who organized the fridge and everything, you repackage everything that you have in your fridge, you always keep an eye on the dates, never let anything rot in there, you never forget an opened bottle of cream or milk, you're probably super you pay attention, right, to details, and you're organized if you do all of that. If you go to the grocery store and you always have a grocery list, you're prepared. If you always stress out because you're about to run out of gas because you didn't pay attention, or you told yourself it's okay, I can do it tomorrow, you probably are too optimistic, or you like to wing it, stuff like that. So I think you can try to look at all those qualities and do the list for yourself. I might add things in there, but it's making me anxious right now, so we're not gonna insist. Okay, so Fred chose our story. So number one, Fred chose our springboard number 3. Thought I was on my iPad keyboard. It's springboard. Okay, so let's go get it. This one. So this is the story we're going to be writing. Right, we're going to make this 12 as well so you can see it. Okay. List your personal assets. Okay, so we've done that. We're going to transform this into this, because that is not what I expected. So undo. Well, I'll check that later. Okay. So write your first page. Do not self-critique. Okay. So no. Right. Here I'm gonna take all of this so that we have it right under our nose. Right. And we're gonna transfer. No. This is gonna be this. Right. So this is gonna be this. Okay. Right. This is gonna be this. This is gonna be this. Okay. All right, so we take our tweet right here. Oh, yeah. We're gonna use it again. Right. Nope. Right. So now we want to write our first page. So the format. So I'm going to write in words what I see. And if we want to do some layout, we'll do that after. Right. So the first page we have, so Aramith is holding her horse by the reins, and okay, so first it's snowing, and everything around is quiet. It's dawn, early in the morning, so it's dawn. So Aramis is holding her horse by the reins. Is watering her horse, holding its reins. So she's looking down at the water, and maybe the water is cold. I think she's squatting. No, she's petting her horse's neck, and looking at them and looking at him. It's a boy. She's petting her horse's neck and looking at him. Suddenly, okay, she hears soft footsteps in the snow. She looks up. There's a human woman kneeling down to fill up her water skin in the stream. Suddenly, the woman looks up straight into right into Aramith's eyes. The woman looks up right at Aramis and stares at her transfixed. And that's the main image. And Aramis holds their gaze, holds the human's gaze for a fleeting moment. See, I hate adverbs. For a moment. For a moment, for an instant, for a long moment. For a long moment, her eyes wide with surprise. This should not be possible. She is hidden under the veil. And the veil is like a shimmering aurora borealis type of how do you write borealis? Borealis, yes. The veil is like a shimmering aurora borealis visual. Between Aramith and the human. A shimmering almost transparent. Yes, between Aramis and the human. Right, so the veil extends, right, the veil extends further than her, but it goes with her, and it's always between her and the rest of the world, and the human slash the rest of the world. It's like a cloak, like a shimmering, almost transparent cloak, feeling, looking like an aurora borealis, yes, visual between slash the rest of the world. It extends with her. It extends with her. Okay, I'm just typing notes here, but that's pretty much the idea. And then, so that moment, the moment dies, Aramis climbs on her horse and rides away. The human hasn't moved. That's our first page. That is our first page. Okay, so I need to close the door again. All right, so here we go. The first page says, it's snowing and everything around is quiet. It's almost eerie, you know, that one of these snowing morning where there's almost nothing because it's winter. It's snowing and everything around is quiet. It's dawn. Aramis, okay. Aramis is watering her horse, holding his reins. She's petting his neck and looking at him. She hears soft footsteps in the snow. She looks up. There's a human woman kneeling down to fill up her water skin in the stream. Really? Yes. in the stream. Suddenly, right, it's done. Aramis is watering. Right. Suddenly, the woman looks up, right at Aramis, and stares at her transfixed. Aramis holds the human's gaze for a long moment, her eyes wide with surprise. This should not be possible. She is hidden under the veil. The veil is like a shimmering, almost transparent cloak, and this needs an A. Looking like an aurora borealis visual between Aramis and the human / the rest of her world. It extends with her wherever she goes. Wherever she goes. Okay. The woman dies. Aramis climbs on her horse and rides away. The human hasn't moved. Okay. This is our first page. So how do we imagine the first page of a comic? How do we make that look? I really want that moment to be intense. And for me, intense in comic means a big, wide, first, huge centerpiece. So definitely panel 1. So panel 1 is going to be it's snowing and everything around is quiet. It's dawn, right? Looking at him. So that's going to be panel 1 here, I think. Okay. No, why am I doing this? Right. Then we're doing this homework and then we'll end. And this is not going to take us too long. Panel 2. Panel 2. We're going to use numbers. Panel 2. Right. She hears soft footsteps in the snow, so they're necessarily soft. See, I always clean up. In the snow, she looks up. There's a human woman kneeling down to fill up her water skin in the stream. The same stream, obviously, that she's watering her horse at. Okay. Panel 3. Blown up. And panel 3 is blown up and centered on the page. Right. Panel 3 is blown up and centered on the page. Right. So we have 1, 2, 3, huge panel. Okay. The woman looks up right at Aramis and stares at her transfixed. Aramis holds the human gaze for a long moment. So we kind of wanted to see this one and then the reverse. Like we want to see the eyes of the woman and at the same time we want to see the eyes of Aramis. So Cameron is our second bird, the human and the elf. So we want to see both. So panel 3 is blown up. Panel 3 and 4 are blown up and centered on the page, are blown up bigger, blown up bigger, centered on the page and they mirror each other. So that way we see, no, not panel 3/4. Panel 3 and 4 are blown up bigger, center on the page, and they mirror each other. So suddenly the woman looks up. So that's panel 3, right? So that's panel 3, right? And that's panel 4. Okay, I like that. This should not be possible. She is hidden under the veil. So the veil, that's going to help for the drawing, right? And then panel 5. The moment dies, Aramith climbs on her horse and rides away. The human isn't moved. That's going to be panel 6. There we go. So panel 6, much smaller, but almost identical to panel 3. Or if we manage to get panel 5 well put, like superb. Oh, right. So we don't need panel 6. Right. Awesome. The human hasn't moved, so that's in panel 3. In panel 3, right, and that's panel 5, smaller and juxtaposed. Smaller and juxtaposed with panel 3, so that we don't need panel 6. So we don't need a panel 6. Moment dies. Right. The human hasn't moved. That's a right, MB. Oh, thanks for saying hi. So yeah, I think it looks good for a first page, right? And I think we've done our homework here. We've written the first page. We haven't critiqued it, but so here's how I see it. I'm gonna enable the preview here so that I can see myself doing the gestures. So here is, so bubble number 1, little panel number 1, it's snowing and we see the stream, all of that. We can even juxtapose panel number 1 on the main scene again, where they look at each other, because so imagine like there's an A4 for like the whole page is bubble panel 3 and 4, right? And juxtaposed on that, so you see the trees and the snow and the veil, and you see the water, the horse, all of that. And on this huge image, you juxtapose panel 1, where she's petting the horse, panel 2, when she hears a footstep, something like that. And panel 3, 4, is cut in half. We see her. We see the woman looking at Hermes. We see Hermes looking at the woman. That's insane. And then panel 5 is juxtaposed on it, again at the bottom, aligned with panel 3 here. And that's Hermes getting on her horse and going away. I think that's a really intense, it's quite an intense beginning. I think I like that. Do you guys like that? MP likes it, so that's good. And yeah, if we have that, it works. I think, you know, yeah, I think it works. Especially because she doesn't move, she's kneeling, watering her skin, so we don't even need panel 2. Yeah, panel 2 is inside panel 3, pretty much. I kind of like that. So it's a 4-panel, 1 bubble on top, 1 bubble at the bottom, and the whole page of them just looking at each other. Yeah. It's just that I want to see both point of view and both eyes. So we might need a bubble with her face and the woman's face, because we want to see the look. We want to see them look at each other. And, you know, we want to see the eyes widen. Yeah, that's going to be intense. I kind of like that. I apologize for movement. We have a very unsettled kitten in the house. So, yeah, people, I'm going to work a little bit on how to explain the paneling in the notes, so that when I show it to my friend and I share it in the Discord, it's you know, it's clear, and maybe I'll even find an artist. Who knows? But yeah, I really like first page. I think it's really, really, really cool. So I'm gonna reword it so that, you know, it works. But yeah, picture that look between the two of them and that page cut in half. I think I like that a lot. All right, so we've done pretty much mostly our homework, and we've written our first page. Even if the layout is hard to explain, you know, just like that, I might do shorter videos about this comic school in the future, so that you get the very shortened 10 minutes version of all of this. But yeah, so I'm gonna get this sorted. I think now that we're Friday, we'll only do day 3 next week, but I'll try to do 2 days next week, because during the process of comic school, they took a day off and they had a graduation, and I just want to look at the other days and the other classes, just to make sure you know, I keep some spontaneous aspects, but also if I need to ask some things from other people, I'll see what I can stream and what I need to do on my own. But in any case, the link to this document is going to be in the description. You have all my links in the descriptions. I think we had fun. This was good. It's gonna be a very angsty love story in 8 pages. So yeah, I kind of love it. I'm gonna spoil it right now. You know, I want it to end well. We're talking about 2 lesbians here. even if Cameron is non-binary, we definitely have, I feel, a need to give a happy ending to every lesbian, because we always die in every story. So yeah, this was fun. I really appreciate that you tuned in and that you participated in chat. Please like, comment, subscribe, leave me in the comments. I asked you earlier if you wanted to look at Red Sonia's outline, and I'm going to put the page here, right here. There you go. If you want to look at that, and we can, tell me where you think that the reveal is in there. You can tell me where you think the introduction is. All of the things I'm putting on screen right now, it's pretty much, hold on. No, it's not all of it. So here you get all of it, all of the, hold on. Right, so part number 1, you can screen, freeze the screen here. And then, hold on a minute. I will move this one. Nope, wrong one. Wrong thing to move. I am going to move the comic school capture. That's the one I want to move. There we go. Here, and I'm going to put it here so that you can see it. The docs will move here. There you go. Okay, so I'll start over. Here is the beginning of the story, and I'm going to count to 10 in my mind. And this is the end of the story. Right. Okay. So if you want to freeze at that moment, I would love for you to tell me what you think the reveal is, what you think the outline is, and I will remind you that the outline is right here, the introduction, the conflict, the climax, the denouement or post-climax, and the reveal that is a surprise. So if you want to leave that in comments, that would be super cool, because I'm actually gonna spend some time analyzing this, so I can figure out myself. And I think next week she's probably going to ask us to write an outline, or at least, get more comfortable with them. So I appreciate you coming. Please stay safe. Please wash your hands. Please stay at home. We have to, do our part to flatten the curve. And with a little bit of chance and a lot of goodwill from everyone, we can slow this thing down and really make a difference. And as for myself, I'm going to finish working on this soonish. I'll post on Twitter about it. And you can follow me on Twitter at paradoxalpoised. It's also in the description below. And yeah, if you want to support the channel, please like, subscribe, watch something else. A playlist in my playlist that really helps me. I have 2 playlists going right now. Just put them in the background. One of them is called Queer Creators, and I am hosting with a author friend of mine, Lola Keeley, and we talk about how to tell a story, how to begin writing, the difference between fan service and fan fiction, how to grow from fan fiction to fiction, and all the things that you need to know, tips and tricks to start writing and keep going and grow on your writing journey. We'll talk about other form of creations, but we both wanted to start with writing. And yeah, this is day 2 of comic school, so there's day 1 previously. And I'll see you next week. Be good. Much love. Bye.